Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very, very much for coming this afternoon and joining us for the very first of what we hope and expect will be a series of interesting conversations with interesting people, sponsored by your public radio station, KUSP. Exactly. These are, as my board of directors entreated me to say, these are absolutely not fundraising events. These are thank you events, because almost all of you are leadership circle supporters of KUSP. You all support the station, and support what we do, in innumerable ways. And this is one way that we can express our gratitude and do one of the things that is very important for public radio stations in this multimedia age, which is to not just be a building with one kind of antenna on the roof that receives signals from someplace and another antenna on the roof that sends it out someplace. There are a lot of ways you can do that by yourself now. You don't need us to do that. But our goal is to be a stronger community resource, connecting you to the people and the ideas that matter. That's what we've always been about. This is one of the ways we hope to do that. And we are thrilled, beyond words, that Amory Lovins has agreed to be our pilot project. Tonight and joining us on this little experiment. Without further ado, Ms. O'Brien, please take it away.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Yeah, well, that was a grand introduction. Before we go too far, I just wanted to make sure that Amory's other half is recognized, and that's Judy Hill Lovins right here. You've already met Judy, and you'll find, I'm sure, that she's the most delightful person, and also a great photographer as well. She has quite a collection of her own, and if you look up the Amory Lovins home on the web, you will find a collection of Judy's pictures, very beautiful ones, of the house as well.
I go to judyhill.com to check out the landscape.
I checked it out. And Martha's been there. So Martha's my partner, by the way. Thanks, Martha. So I wanted to kind of get, before we start, kind of get a little bit of context for our discussion, and that is to kind of give a little bit of personal background on Amory, and to give you an idea of what he's been doing for the past 35, 40 years or so. And let's start, Amory, if you will, with the remarkable house that you've built, which is part residence and part RMI office in Snowmass, Colorado. Can you tell us a little bit about it and what makes it perhaps different than most other houses in the nation?
Yeah. Well, when my first wife, Hunter, and I founded RMI in 1982, we had already figured we wanted to move to the Roaring Fork Valley if we could find some land we could afford there, which we did on the last day of a 6-month search. And to build a nest in which we could attract a handful of colleagues. At the moment it's 83. I guess it got a little out of hand. Actually, over half of them are in our larger office in Boulder. It's less than half that age. But it's kind of like here, it's one of those terrible places to live, but somebody's got to do it. And a place people want an excuse to come to, and a place where it's easier to attract the kinds of people we wanted to. Most of the people we wanted to influence came there or owned a place near Aspen or wanted an excuse to come. And we had an ambition to help drive the efficient and restorative use of resources, because that's the best way we knew to create a world thriving, verdant, and secure for all forever. That's our vision. And the best way we know to carry out our mission right now is to get the U.S. completely off oil and coal by 2050. So that's our strategic focus. It will not solve all our problems, but it will help with a great many of them. So the last, well, let's see, a year and a half until last October, we did a very ambitious piece of research funded with about $6 million of philanthropy and a lot of help from industry on both content and peer review. If you look at the credits in the back, you'll see what sort of help we got. It turned out to have quite a surprising finding that the U.S. could run a 2.6-fold bigger economy in 2050 with no oil, no coal, no nuclear energy, a third less natural gas, and a $5 trillion lower cost than business as usual. That's a net present value, leaving out all externalities or hidden costs. So we're counting them all as zero, a conservatively low value. And we found that the transition to that happy state of affairs would require no new inventions and no acts of Congress, but be led by business for profit.
Yay.
So, in effect,